Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Always Open. On today's show, we're going to be discussing a confessional, a letter that Chris has received. It's very scandalous. A question about divorce, and, of course, our lovely box of issues. On this week's episode, you got me, Barbara Dunkelman, as well as some friends.
I'm John.
I'm Ellie.
I'm Chris.
We're like a sitcom.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hey, you guys.
oh, you guys cut on the perfect time for that. That was amazing.
That was very good.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by the control room on that one. Welcome, y'all.
Welcome to your show.
G&T.
Oh, yeah.
So glad you could be here, Barbara.
Does it well. Thank you, Chris. I
really
traveled very far to be on the show.
You made it.
I didn't.
No, you didn't. I got the joke. Thank you. I
I went
appreciate
from my
that.
office to here.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way. Let's do our shot.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Because
We do
it's
shots.
not in the
This
middle of
looks
the
fun.
day. It's evening, clearly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at the, there's a gobo on the wood over there. It's totally conveying, see, look, it's all
Nighttime.
Nighttime.
It's nighttime. It's an appropriate time to do a shot.
Exactly. So this is the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Shot, which I think we've done before, just submitted by someone else. It's submitted by Eric C., and it has half rum chata and half fireball.
Ooh, that sounds neat.
So it sounds delicious. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, uh-huh.
That was a
Oh, it's good.
long shot.
I ate
lot of it.
way
It
too
kept
much
going.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch in college.
Ooh.
It kind of tastes like it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
How do you
good.
know when is appropriate to hit the table or not?
You always, don't you?
I don't know. Like you hesitated on it.
That's because I'm an idiot.
But a lot of people, I feel like,
Shares the table, right?
I never know. I'm always just watch. Like, what are they doing?
I grew up
Right.
in a religious conservative house that didn't do alcohol. I know nothing about
I
it.
think it depends on what you're drinking. I think if it's a shot, you're supposed. I think Ashley explained you're supposed to like cheers the bar.
Yeah, and shares the bar.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah,
Cheers
like
the bar.
thanks for the shot.
Cheers your homie.
It's just like for alcohol. Huzzah!
Cheers. Cling, cling, cling. And then she always flips them upside down because it indicates that you have no more alcohol left. But I always have a little bit.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
just creates a sticky mess.
Exactly.
Sticky meth.
That we don't have to clean up. Cool. So I think we want to kick things off this episode with a confessional. This was submitted by an anonymous user. Y'all ready?
So ready.
Okay.
Ready?
You seem like
Do you
you
have to
seem
dim the
excited
lights more
about
for
it.
this one? Do you have to go even like more?
Get like real close on.
Yeah.
So Anonymous writes, when I was 24 years old, I went on summer vacation with my boyfriend and his family. One night, he wanted to have sex, and I was all for it. But we didn't think it was a good idea to do it in the bathroom or outside, since we were sharing a room with 2 queen beds and our absence would have been noticed. But we had gone the whole vacation without sex, and we ended up having sex while they slept in the other bed in the same room. I just want your opinion. Were we too horny? What else could we have done?
Well, I like how they didn't want to be noticed by going outside or going to the bathroom, so we're just gonna do it right in front of them.
Yeah.
Which I guarantee you, one of the parents noticed.
Oh, that,
Oh,
I
if not
cared.
both. Come, I mean.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Blue balling
That's close
sucks.
quarters.
So I understand that.
I understand wanting to have sex, but man.
Do you, Chris? Do you understand wanting to have sex?
But like, well, it's like there's so many. They should have left. The
Or
room.
just waited until the vacation was done.
Yeah.
If they were that worried about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get.
That could have made it even more
They
fun.
should-
Kinky.
Yeah. Have you ever had sex in the same room as someone else like that?
No.
No?
No, not in the same room.
I
I think that's like, it's a lot to put someone else through.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, this is my choice and I'm going to do this right now and you have no say. Because it would be awkward to be, well, because in England you don't have like shared roommates in college.
Okay.
So that was never like a thing we had to deal with.
It's also like
You think you're being sneaky?
you're
You're not.
people are gonna hear something.
You're not.
Sex, you cannot have sex completely silent, especially in a room full of people sleeping.
What?
Completely silent?
Yes.
There's gonna be some like
There's some noises.
some
But in this situation, it was that like
What's-
the other person's parents, right? In
Yeah,
the room.
yeah.
That's the line for me. It's like with friends, I think you can kind of be like, that was a thing that happened, sure. With parents, they're gonna be like,
yeah.
So wait. So
Oh fuck! What do we do? Do we wake up?
stay
is-
completely still.
This is guy-girl sex.
I assume. They didn't specify. So.
Okay. If it's guy-girl sex, or if it was guy-guy sex, I guess boys do make noise when they're done.
Well,
at the very
that's-
least.
You could. You know,
Just
you can.
boys.
It's like.
You could be silent when
I'd say boys are more guaranteed to because they will finish because boys will finish like probably more commonly than girls will finish, and or I've been told.
It's usually.
So there's a chance that a girl can just stay silent and not say
I think
anything.
it's impossible for a guy to stay completely
I'm saying it's a
silent.
better chance that when it's hard not to make noise when you do the thing.
Sure.
I'd say it's hard for you not to make noise when you do the thing, right?
Sure.
So when you do the
possible.
thing,
I think it's possible.
It's possible, but
I'm gonna go home right now and I'm gonna try to masturbate and see how silent I can
Like,
be.
if you're that
fun
horny,
game.
if you're that horny, why didn't they just take turns going into the bathroom and masturbating? Like,
Well,
just
masturbating is one thing, but sex is another.
I know,
or
but like,
just go out. So we're gonna go for a walk. Or,
unless the vacation was like 4
Faked
months,
an argument. Like, we have to go outside right now and talk about
Yeah.
this.
they're also 24.
I would have gone into the
yeah,
woods.
that's it. Yeah, they're old. They go to a car or something.
Yeah, you're
'Cause,
24. Go to the
like in
bathroom.
college,
Just go to the bathroom.
in the dorm, like it definitely was. I've had situations where I thought I was being sneaky in the dorm room when I had a roommate in the dorm room, and like
Super weren't.
and yeah, my roommate was like, yeah, you weren't sneaky.
Yeah.
Like you're not you're not a ninja.
I hooked up
Sex
with a
ninja.
guy. I never had sex in the same room as someone else, but I hooked up with a guy, like making out, and I think I went down on him in a room, like a hotel room where it has 2 queen beds, and I assume that's the kind of setup they have here, and they definitely hurt us.
Yeah.
Like even just like skin against skin sounds.
Especially a blowjob. That's a noisy thing.
That there's a lot of.
Yeah.
I wish there was a word for like
You should
hearing someone else have sex and just that knowledge that everyone seems to know is like, I will not reference this ever.
Yeah. We'll never talk about
deniability.
Yeah,
it
just like-
ever.
You just need an alternate activity that sounds like you're having sex to be doing. You know,
What
like,
alternate?
I don't know.
Miniature boxing.
Especially like a blowjob. You're like, we are cleaning
No.
these dirty dishes with our mouth.
In bed?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what
In what context would that work?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just spitballing
That
here.
does
I'm
make
spitballing.
sense.
No, he's just
That does make
no
sense.
bad ideas. No
Yeah,
wrong
this
ideas.
is just starting.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like eating candy, like
Yeah,
lollipops
maybe-
and stuff.
There you go. I have lollipops in bed all the time.
All the time. My lollipops make a lot of noise sometimes. Blah, 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 blah.
Wait, how do you give a blowjob?
Not like that. I like to speak into it like a microphone.
Yeah.
Is this thing on? Hello?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't ever take it and do that.
All right, so they ask, were we too horny? What else could we have done?
You were the right amount of horny,
I like
and what you could have
desperation in
done.
that
Is,
question. What else could we have done?
How could we have done this?
no, you obviously had to have sex, but go into the goddamn woods and
Yeah.
have sex.
Go somewhere else. Just
go be
leave.
with
They should have
nature.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just
Go fuck with the deers.
even the idea of my parents hearing me have sex, not let alone be in the same room when I'm doing it, like really grosses me out. To
Yeah.
the point where it's like, I could be the horniest I've ever been in my life in the same room as my parents, and I would not do anything.
Right.
I don't get that mentality unless you're like closer with your.
It's a
What if
level
I'm in the
removed.
same
If
room?
you're
Let's play a scenario. What if I'm in the bed next to you and you're
With your parents.
I'm in your bed
With my parents.
with the Dunkelmans, and we're just doing a 3-way spoon. I'm in the middle, obviously,
Of course.
and you're in the bed next to me with your paramour. Would you do it if you
No.
thought that I couldn't hear?
if it was just you, yeah, maybe. You and my
That's what I
parents.
mean. If it was just me, would you do it?
The parents takes it to a different level.
There's like some friends that I'm close enough with where I'm just like, yeah, I was fucking.
Yeah.
Like,
You'd probably scream over and be like, John, look! John! John!
Check out this move.
Happening live.
Just
It's like getting ketchup out.
every single guy in this room is just like, oh no. Nope.
Not okay.
Not okay. What else could they have done? Just not have sex.
it's they should
Practice
just gone somewhere else.
restraint.
Yeah. There's also like there's details we don't know. Like, is this a long distance relationship where like you want to have sex every time you see each other? Because that I get.
Yeah, but then again, just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
If as a parent,
Yeah,
which I'm not,
that's what I was speaking from the parents' point of view.
As a
So-
parent.
I would
Please don't
not.
ever procreate. Please don't ever.
As a theoretical parent,
Nope.
that would be really gross
Yeah.
to me.
Oh yeah. You hurt your parents.
Yeah,
It's
like-
also like they're 24.
And what are the parents supposed to do at that point?
Don't
They're awake and they're like,
acknowledge it.
"Oh God, I am trapped." Because if they get up,
Yeah, the word. Don't acknowledge it. Nothing's happened. Nothing's
Yeah.
happening.
My child is boning or getting boned or one of the two.
They start booking.
But then if you think about it, like a lot of kids have walked in on their parents at some point in their life. It's kind of like the perfect reversal of that situation.
Ooh.
It's like, okay, now it's your turn.
It's payback.
It's payback time.
You watch.
Yeah, that'd be funny if they're like, well, I heard my parents having sex when I was a child, and I walked in on them.
So this is happening now.
I never had my children walk on it, me having sex. I use a thing called a lock.
If it happens to me, I blocked it out. I'm not sure.
I would say just have your absence be noticed. You're 24. Your parents probably know that you and your significant other have sex.
No, they probably don't want to think about it though.
I don't want to. Yeah.
So go to the woods.
Man, that is bold.
It's pretty bold.
Kudos.
Good story.
Kudos to you, y'all.
You horny bastards.
You horny bastards. Always practice safe sex if you're listening to this, whether that means doing it in places
With parental
that are safe.
supervision.
Parental supervision.
Yeah.
Some of that.
That's safe sex, because that ain't gonna happen.
Safe
Well,
as anything.
Changing the subject completely.
Yeah.
We've all seen mouth-watering healthy smoothies on Instagram or Pinterest and thought, that's the kind of thing I should be eating. But who has time to make that every day? Wouldn't it be great if you could get those picture-perfect nutrients without having to hit the farmer's market and chop up a million fruits and veggies? Now you can get all your superfoods fast with Daily Harvest. Daily Harvest sends superfood each straight to your door with your choice of smoothies, activated breakfast bowls, or nice cream vegan sundaes. I like that pun, nice cream. Each single serving cup comes ready to blend or heat. Their produce is organic and unrefined and looks as amazing as it tastes. You could actually see all of the whole ingredients when you open the cup. Daily Harvest freezes all their ingredients at peak freshness, sealing in their nutritional value. Preparing each cup is insanely easy. Just add water, or if you're feeling fancy, you could substitute other liquids like coconut or almond milk. I know you like coconut or almond milk, John. Go to daily-harvest.com and enter promo code OPEN to get 3 items free off your first box. That's promo code OPEN for 3 free Daily Harvest cups at daily-harvest.com. Daily-harvest.com. That's a mouthful. They're really good. You've been eating healthy and doing all your stuff.
I have.
So have you, Ellie.
I just had a box of the.
I could if I had a Daily Harvest. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
promo
self-respect.
code open.
Yeah.
They're
They
really
are
easy.
really, really good.
Just come like that.
Especially the ones that have like cacao and it's so good.
Cacao.
You say cacao? Is
Well,
it?
it's what it is, right?
That's what it is.
Like
not cocoa?
raw cacao.
No, cacao is like.
It's different.
It's different.
It sounds
It's
like
like the
supposed to be
raw-
healthier.
Yeah.
Not nice on its own, but it gives you a chocolatey taste with other things.
Yeah.
chocolatey taste.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Well,
Don't make. She's talking sense.
no, it's good. I like having people who could provide knowledge for me on these subjects because I don't.
You have
know
literally
anything
said that
about
if
it.
I could double up my entire diet, you would just eat what I eat.
Yeah, because I watch your social media and all the stuff that you eat, and it actually looks really good.
and it takes effort. And
I made a good sandwich
Yeah.
last night too.
What'd you make?
Saute spinach and mushroom with melted Monterey Jack on wheat bread.
That sounds so
yum.
good.
It was a good
See, I
sandwich.
don't have
Little
time for
bit
that.
of buffalo sauce on it for some flavor. It was good.
That's why I do daily.
that's-
Just a little.
I don't have time.
Some
for
of
that.
this.
That's how I do my buffalo sauce. Is I grab it up and I go.
Perfect.
Chris.
Okay.
So I've been
What'd you do?
No, I've been so excited to get to talk about this on the show. We haven't had Chris on in a while, and Ellie, this is your first time on the
is.
show. We forgot to mention.
No one
Welcome.
cares.
Oh,
The important people care.
No, welcome.
Everyone
welcome.
except John.
thank you, Joe.
Welcome.
So a couple, was it?
Yeah, well, let's not be specific on timeline.
Okay.
Let's
Never do
A
that with
while
your
back.
a
parents.
while ago.
That was a beautiful moment, by the way.
That's the sound sex makes.
A while ago,
Uh-huh.
Chris received
Sorry.
a note on his door.
What door? Home?
I'm a little nervous about this is personal stuff. So.
Shut up. Home?
Yes.
Okay.
Where he lives.
And I didn't know how. I do not know what the appropriate response to this was. I sent an image.
Take us through the whole story. So
Well-
you get home one day.
Start at the beginning.
This was a night out I had sex one night.
He had sex one night
Way to go.
When I woke
How
up,
dare you and not tell me?
Yeah, you weren't there.
without his parents.
Wasn't there.
And then later the next day, when I went out to go open my door, there was a note on my door, and this is what it said. Your bed is extremely loud. We're being woken up in the middle of the night, morning too, continuously, and if it keeps happening, we'll have to talk to the HOA.
Oh, Chris.
Chris, my man.
What part
That
of the
is
bed?
amazing.
Okay, I gotta know.
So basically, let's just sum it up. Chris is having really loud sex, and he's waking up his neighbors.
Do you scream?
I don't.
You're also like on the top floor of like a tall building.
Yeah. And also, and I think
Sorry, just sliding that in there. I don't.
also I think it's some of it's maybe my bed is squeaky.
Is the bed squeaky or is the bed hitting?
No, because that's the thing. Bed's not hitting the wall. So it's the bed.
You must know if it's squeaky.
Yeah, it's a little squeaky.
Right.
Okay. But squeaky enough to wake up your neighbors?
I guess. I don't know. But here's the deal: is that I had no clue that this was an issue until that note. But it was posted on my front door, facing out. So anyone who walked by saw this note, and I was like, "Well, that seems." And it's so passive aggressive and angry. It's like
They could have put it under the door.
Could have put it in the door, or said, "Hey,
Or
you
just
know,
like,
just so you know, your bed is kind of loud," and you know, blah, blah, like a polite way. This is like a threat. This is like,
Yeah.
and like super passive aggressive, like in
True.
the middle of the night. Mornings too.
Downstairs neighbors, ever had interaction with them before?
I think it's some newer people.
Newer people.
But they also here's the
So
deal.
your old neighbors were used to your loud sex
guess.
before.
Here's a different way to think about it, though. Everyone that walked past and saw that note was like, that dude fucked.
Or that guy's getting laid.
That guy's getting
Well, it's
laid.
Nice.
I mean, everyone has.
Or just a
sex,
furious
so-
masturbator?
People
Yeah,
don't get to,
yeah.
Chris. Not everyone gets to have sex.
It's true.
Well, no, okay, well, not every, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not uncommon in an apartment complex. I've lived and heard people have sex before many times. You hear it, people against a wall, or you go to a hotel room.
Yeah.
You hear, that's just like life, living in a city.
I
right?
saw someone having sex the other day. I was like walking down the street near my apartment and I look up and the window of the apartment complex near me, I saw just people having sex right at the window. Just doggy style.
I saw people having sex in a car. It's always like a.
Yeah, you're just like, I kind of want to watch, but I shouldn't.
I've also like walked by, like outside, and then like heard through a window people just like boning really loudly. And it's like, it's just like life, but like, my question is what is the proper response for that? And then I can tell you what I did.
Proper response to the note.
Yes.
Okay, so if I got a note on my door saying you're having loud sex, need to stop, I would, me being so socially awkward, I'd probably just ignore the note and then attempt to like fix the bed situation so that I can still maintain the activity I'm doing, but the bed has now been proofed against this noise.
Yeah.
Because I fear human interaction. So,
confrontation?
Yeah.
Oof.
I mean, it does suck to live in a place where you could hear other people and if it's affecting your sleep. That's an uncomfortable situation for anybody. The way they went about it, not a huge fan of. Just like, hey, you've been making a lot of noise at night.
Every time
it's
I've
affecting
had-
our sleep. If you could like look into that,
But,
like,
like
we'd
if
appreciate.
it keeps happening,
Yeah.
then we're gonna have to talk to each
Like
other.
just say like, please fix it.
Never
I'd
be a dick
appreciate
about it.
Yeah.
I know I just said I fear human interaction, but the first time I ever have interaction with my neighbors about a noise problem, I try to go up and at least show my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
But again, you don't know which. Do you know which?
I assume it's the ones directly below.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, because your bedroom is against the wall of someone else's apartment, so it could be the person to
It
the side
could
of
be,
you.
but I think it's below. That's because
You
the
think
people
so?
who live next to me, I've lived next to for a longer period of time.
So this would have been building for a long time.
It's strange for them to not have given you any kind of way to have a dialogue with them about it. They didn't tell you which apartment they're from.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, let's like figure this out.
I
Rather
guess
than just be like, you're in trouble.
It is
Best-
an embarrassing thing to confront someone about, though.
Sure.
I'm just like, I've heard you having sex. I understand them not wanting to out themselves of who they are.
But then they didn't have to say that on the note. They could be like, hey, I'm your neighbor in this apartment and like, would love to chat with you.
Yeah.
Did you leave a passive-aggressive note downstairs?
No, what I did. Well, so
Oh yeah. So what did you do?
what I did was, I went and I tried to knock on the door because the thing is they also play music loud. Really loud at night. And so
Bitches.
I had already been thinking like, oh, I should probably go down there and say, hey, I think you guys, would y'all mind not listening to music past like midnight or something?
Yeah.
But then I was like, if I go down and do that now, it's gonna seem like I'm being like reactionary.
Yeah.
And so I went to go knock and I stopped by a couple times but never like, no one answered. So then I just kind of ignored the issue for a bit. And then they
Is there a follow-up?
yeah, there's a follow-up note they sent.
What? Holy crap.
Wow, that is directly
Okay,
to the point.
wait. They keep phrasing it, fix your bed.
Yeah. I think it's just
Okay.
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Could have gone my whole life, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And this was like, this note was.
Where was that located?
They love this green marker.
Yeah.
This was the same
it,
door.
Marco.
Yeah.
Same door.
But it was
taped towards
also
your
like
door.
banged. I heard banging like on my door.
Yeah.
Like bam, 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 bam.
Mid.
Yes.
Mid-coitus.
Interesting.
Did you
It's
stop
like a
or did
mystery.
you
I
keep
want to
going?
figure out who it is.
I'm not gonna. Someone's
One
at the
second.
door. I'm
One
like,
second, ma'am.
Chris, you're fucking railing that girl.
No.
Damn! He's waking the neighbors.
It was not late.
It was
I
okay.
just don't want to hear the noise anymore.
All right, so it wasn't actually about being kept awake.
So-
That part of it was
They're just
irrelevant.
jealous. Invite them next time.
What was?
Yeah, maybe they're not having sex.
Oh, probably. What was the time period between the first note and the second note?
A couple weeks.
A couple weeks.
Yeah.
And did you do anything to try to fix your bed in between that?
No,
Tighten
I
the
didn't.
screws.
Okay.
But I didn't have time. It's like,
You need a new bed.
yeah. My plan was, I was like, I'm gonna go and get a new bed
Yeah.
and a new mattress, but that's like a thing that you got to go shopping for. It's a whole thing.
It's a process.
Yeah, yeah.
It's also expensive, so you have
It's
to like.
expensive. Yeah, yeah.
fix-
So it's not
find
something you just
good.
go out and do the next day.
Yeah.
Right. And so
Have you
it's
gotten
like,
a new bed since then?
well, no.
Have you had sex since then?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well, no. Well, yeah.
I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'm not gonna talk about like timeline. It's just something.
Yeah.
I'm not asking when you had sex. I'm just asking like.
When
going
exactly
to-
was that?
Yeah, I'm gonna need just a second. Need to
So
get
like I've
notes here.
just been ignoring the issue thus far, but I'm gonna fix it.
Well, the thing is like, what are they gonna do? They complain to the HOA like, "Hey, my neighbor is
Getting
having
it.
sex."
Well, no, they can phrase it that way. That's just a noise complaint.
A noise
It's a
complaint.
noise
Yeah,
complaint.
noise complaints are noise complaints. I
If
got
it
an
were
upstairs
me-
neighbor evicted because of noise problems.
Did you?
I did.
If it were me, I would, A, fix the bed situation, and then send them a note that was like, hey, I fixed this, but I really think that there are better ways than going
Yeah.
about conflict in this way.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
Okay.
all aggressive.
Like, I apologize for the noise, but I feel like it's inappropriate how you
Yeah. When about
Publicly.
went about this,
This is-
publicly and posted this on my door instead of
Yeah.
sticking it under my door, in my door, like
Or just
folding the paper and
Or
sticking
even just
it in.
having
Have a
the
conversation.
phrasing of that note is like
Yeah.
so.
Well, they
passive.
banged on the door the second time, so they were ready to have a conversation.
Yeah. Well,
They probably banged and then ran away.
it's funny too because I talked
like Chris.
to Josh about this, Josh Flanagan, and he had the exact same issue where he got a complaint from the HOA of his apartment complex or whatever, called him and said, "Hey, there's issue. Your neighbors have complained of a noise complaint." And he was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Yeah, they said you're having sex too loud." They just went
Wow.
directly to the HOA,
Wow, they didn't even message
and then
you first.
yeah, he said they would like bang on the
Well, now I feel like I'm having too quiet a sex.
I was gonna say, no one's been complaining about my sex.
I'm gonna have to fix that.
Well, yeah, could like an adequate response be, maybe you should make thicker walls in your apartments?
I was gonna say, I feel lucky that I've never heard a single person in my apartment. But I also don't know if that I just have quiet neighbors and people could hear me.
Yeah.
But I've never received a complaint before.
Yeah.
And it'd be awkward because I think I have kids who live in the apartment next to me.
Oh well.
This is how your mommy and daddy made you.
I hear my upstairs neighbors clomping around a lot, and that's always kind of annoying, but it's like, you gotta walk, right?
Yeah.
And it's not
Yeah,
their fault that it's an
it's-
old apartment.
Yep, and with thin
Yeah.
thing.
There's some of that stuff you just gotta. It's like living in a city.
Yeah.
You know, unless you live in a house, you're gonna
Right.
hear some of that kind of
Go
stuff.
live in a farmhouse in the country if it
Yeah.
bothers you that much.
Yeah, like, I guess I need to figure. I'm gonna come over to your place. I'm gonna like, you're gonna go on your bed and you're
Yeah, I
gonna
didn't know where that story's
initiate.
gonna go either, Chris.
Well, I'll sit there and watch and listen. And you'll pretend to be humping someone in your bed.
You know
and
what?
I'll see
Even
how
easier.
loud.
Robert
it
can
gets.
Even easier.
supervise.
Next time you're having sex, just FaceTime me,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll assess it from there.
Maybe
Here's
I'm
what
just
you do:
jumping
get the
on the
girl
bed
to
too
hold
loud.
the phone on her face, so it's like you're
Yeah.
like John's
So
right
you can
there.
look at me. So you can look at me on this sweet girl.
I don't want to do that.
Maybe if you had parental supervision,
Yeah.
then,
I'm a parent.
right? Can you imagine if John opens the door and he's like, hey, sorry, Chris is just having sex right now, and he's like really getting into it. So
Yeah. So if you could not,
you could not leave a mean note.
Yeah. My boy's getting it.
My boy's getting it, and just don't be mean. Thank you.
So what's your resolution gonna be?
Well, I'm gonna get new furniture at some point.
But do you think that
But
like,
I've just been ignoring it for a while. And
yeah,
I don't know if it's gonna escalate or. That's what I'm saying. I don't,
is there other furniture you could bang on until then?
You got a couch.
I assume you have couch.
You don't
and
have a roommate.
yeah. So yeah, I guess I could. But then Yeah, part of it's like a principle thing that makes me mad. Where I'm like,
I should be able to have sex in my own bed in my own place.
Is there a bed in the other room anymore?
there's like there's a couch thing that could be a bed.
Oh, so
That
use
could be your sex room.
Oh, make it your red room,
Yeah.
like from 50 Shades of Grey.
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's your sex dungeon.
Yeah, I guess. I guess I'll make a
No, but it's,
I guess I could have a sex.
I suppose.
it'd be funny if you're like waking up in the morning with your with your woman or whoever it is.
Is it a woman?
Yeah. It's not,
He doesn't have to designate that. He can bang guys if he
Sure,
wants.
whatever
I
you
didn't
want.
couldn't. I was just asking.
Just asking.
He
With your
can
lady.
bang a dude if he wants.
I know that.
Because like I assume like they said mornings too, so I assume there's morning sex happening sometimes, which is great. I'm sure you've all experienced
Morning
it.
sex is
Morning
awesome.
sex is wonderful.
That's the way to wake up.
So it'd be funny if you like woke up in your bed and you're like, all right, let's move to the other room so we can fuck.
well, yeah.
Just like shimmy on over.
We gotta get over to the
Like,
dungeon.
let me pull down the couch, you know.
Well, just
Then we
leave it-
smash.
Leave it pulled up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never received a complaint like that before.
See if you get a new bed, and if it happens again, then they're just dicks.
I'm gonna have sex on my piano next time. I'm gonna really make some noise.
What if you did that and it somehow like played a beautiful like
Or I could just have sex on the bench and play while I bang.
Or it'd be more like chopsticks, like dun 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 dun.
What's the most like I guess in your own place? Where's like the most what's the word? Like weirdest place in your own place that you
My own place?
Yeah.
Kitchen.
kitchen?
Yeah, I mean, there's not that many. Yeah, kitchen,
Bathroom?
shower.
I'm like I dig counters. Counters are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea of you offering this like this like list of places that you could like. So we've got the kitchen.
Yeah.
We've got the counter. Like your pick. Not the bed.
Not the bed. Everywhere but the bed. Just put a giant X on the bed.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is cool. Against a wall, on the floor, on a nice hardwood floor.
This is a weird Dr. Seuss book.
Against a wall.
I do not
on a
like
floor.
green eggs in ham. I want to
Could
bang
not,
you.
should not in my bed.
Could not, would not with a mouse.
I don't remember that
Sound it makes is bam bam bam.
Could not, should not give you head.
Well, keep us updated.
Yeah.
We look forward to hearing what happens.
We look forward to hearing you have sex.
And well, I don't.
Take a sound sample next time.
There's a sponsor of our podcast. They're not a sponsor on this episode, but I'm sure they could hook you up with a mattress, perhaps, if that's the thing that's.
Mattress is probably not
Yeah, is it
anybody's
the
problem.
springs or is it the?
Oh, it could be mattress springs.
The mattress that I speak of has
need
the
a phone.
right amount of bounce and sink, so it
That's
absorbs.
why my sex isn't loud enough, because I have one of
bounce
those
and sink.
mattresses.
Yep.
That's why you're not getting complaints.
I have a silencer underneath me.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. That's
Have you
it
thought
then.
about soundproofing your whole room?
I have sex. Shut up.
Well, keep us updated. And if you have received a complaint about your loud sex, you
I thought
should
you were
email
going
us.
to say if you've received sex.
If you've received sex. We'd love to hear your stories. Send it to alwaysopen@roosterteeth.com. I'm curious to see if any other watchers have had similar experiences and what they've done. Or if they've been the one to complain, because I'm sure people have done that as well. All right, so we're going to move on to our next question. This is submitted by Sean P. And Sean P. writes, do you have any experience with divorce?
Yes. Next question.
So I know that I think everyone here has had some experience with it except me. I have never had any experience that my parents are still together. All my aunts and uncles are still together, except my mom's sister. She's divorced. But they live in a different city, so I never really saw anything from that. So I want to learn more about your experiences rather than be able to talk about my inexperience with it.
You're going through or have finished?
Just have finished. Yeah.
Just have finished.
Yeah. Well,
Are we okay high-fiving?
Well, it's not really a high five kind of moment for me. Yeah.
There you go.
As long, the thing
One of
is,
these.
like,
Right there.
as long as you are in a good place and happy, I think that is what matters.
Yeah.
And before we do discuss this, I just want to say that divorce is two people. We are not trying to create any sort of conflict between these two people. We're not trying to get people to go after other people or try to seek them out. It's just a discussion about it. We want everyone to remain civil and just be cool, internet. Yeah.
How long were you married?
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. I got married really, really young. I was just 23, 22.
Oh, wow.
I got married 23 as well.
Yeah.
No, 22. I was 22.
How long had you guys been seeing those people before you got married?
What?
Because you, I think,
Yeah.
just a year?
A year.
Wow.
A year and we got engaged.
Okay.
And then got married within the next 3 months.
Wow.
So it's fast.
Very fast.
Yeah.
Very, very accelerated.
Our situation was just over 2 years of a long distance relationship. So we went straight from long distance to being married and living together.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a big change.
It's a big old change.
That's a very big change.
When you're not really sure who you are.
Yeah,
And like,
at 22.
at 22 years old.
I remember I moved to Austin when I was 22, and I did not know who the fuck I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what brought me here too.
I got married because I at that young age because one, I didn't think anybody else would ever date me or want me ever because I didn't date anybody in junior high, high school even until the end of college. So I finally had someone who actually liked me, and then it's just what everyone did, and it was just like a lot of my youth and leading up until maybe 5 years ago, a lot of my decisions in life were based upon just what I thought was expected of me. I lived a life of just living by expectations, and that's what you did. And so everyone got married, everyone had kids eventually.
It's also like when you're that young, I feel like, well, maybe not just when you're that young, but especially when you're that young, love could feel so intense and so like, this is right. Thank you, Texas. You're so welcome. Oh, a new drink for me. There's a lot of stories about people who are young and who experience that like desire to be like, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person, and not really like understanding themselves or the world yet, and feeling so intensely that they kind of jump into things a little too quickly.
You got divorced in a timeline that I should have gotten divorced.
How so?
I knew within 2 years that things were not working out, stayed with it for another 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
And so I was married for over 9 years.
when we started having problems, we spent 18 months in therapy before
Did that
things
too.
finally ended.
So it's like you tried to make it work.
Oh yeah,
You tried
absolutely.
to fix the problem.
I mean, like when we first got together, I met him in Thailand when I was working there, when we did long distance between London and here for 2.5 years. And so it kind of got to the point where it was like, we've got to do something about this, and like someone's going to move here or there. And at the time, I was working freelance in advertising in London and not loving it. And just also the things I was going through, and was very insecure, didn't have a lot of love for myself, and the same kind of situation where like, oh, someone really, really likes me, enough to like be with me across the ocean.
Yeah.
Sweet, that's great for me. And also there's like this whole thing, the whole thing of it was like a huge fantasy and adventure.
Absolutely.
And like,
The American.
well, yeah. So we'd come here and visit him and be like, this place is rad.
Yeah.
And it's being on vacation. I don't have
He
any
lived in Austin?
problems. He lived in Austin. I would come and be here, and this is the coolest city ever.
Yep.
And, when we saw each other, it was that height of vacation. And there was nothing to deal with apart from being away, which was its own romantic fantasy.
Well, it's something to be said also about long distance relationships, which is like the danger of people starting off long distance and then jumping into something more committed, is that in long distance relationships, you're only getting the best of that person because you don't see each other, and then when you do see each other, you spend
Great.
It's so much
great
emotion.
and it's intense,
Yeah.
and you spend all your like limited time doing fun things and like being really like intense sexually and romantically, and then you're apart again, and then it just is.
You
it's
just
a
build
cycle.
up for the next time.
And you don't see what it's like as like an everyday regular relationship.
And it is that like, this is so romantic, and and that you build that up into your head, and then when you get into real life and real everyday problems, we just, we both made a lot of mistakes, and we kind of we figured out that we weren't compatible
Yeah.
to spend a life together. And when it was great, and that's where like the heartbreak comes from. Is when it was good, it was great.
That's every relationship.
But the day-to-day life, it just got to a point where it was clear it wasn't going to work, and it was the best thing for both of us.
Yeah.
And it's still painful right now, but I think that we all look back on this and be like, I have so much respect for those two people and what they did, because otherwise we would never have known. And I would probably be sat in an office in London being like, what if I'd run away with that American guy?
Yeah.
And so I have respect for my 22-year-old self and what she did, but
I have no respect for my 22-year-old self.
that's interesting.
Here's the thing, though. I think every experience and every relationship you have is important because you learn something from it.
Oh yeah, there's value. Like
No such thing as wasted time.
Exactly. And I think there's
There is.
there's maybe like a point where
I think there's
too much time wasted, but I think like
I think there's purposeful time, but I think there can be wasted time. That being said, I don't wholly regret my decisions because, again, without my decisions being made, I would not be sitting here with these lovely folks doing what I do, because me coming to Austin and Rooster Teeth in general was actually my marital problems was a catalyst for me actually even pursuing Rooster Teeth. So things like meeting you guys, working here, moving to Austin, anything that's good in my life right now, which I love my life right now, would not have happened if I had stayed in California doing what I was doing. It wouldn't have happened.
Absolutely. And again, it's like, a lot of people are like, oh, this relationship went on too long, or I shouldn't have ever started this relationship or got into this relationship in the first place. It's like, yeah, maybe this thing happened and it caused you a lot of heartache, but it also taught you so much about what you don't want. And like what is wrong for you in certain situations.
I do some, I mean, like, yeah, I'm 26 years old and I've been divorced, and there is like, I always thought when we were really starting to go through it that I was like, I don't care about what other people think, and that whole like bubble of failure and social and like that whole part of the divorce thing, I was like, that's not going to affect me. And it didn't in terms of how other people feel it, and like especially within stuff like being a Christian and stuff, I think there's grace for everything, and that's how, like, you know, without grace I could have never have done this. But like I think that I've like completely lost my train of thought.
That happens all the time to be on this
train of
show.
thought.
I'll be in the middle of a sentence and I'm just like, what the fuck was I about to say? What was the point I was gonna make? But no, I think
It'll come to me.
I think, you know, again, you learn something from everything. And I don't think, it's nice that there's some flexibility on it, and that if you're not happy, I forget who said this. I think it was an episode of Always Open or the podcast where someone said, no good marriage ends in divorce.
I think it's Bernie.
Bernie, yeah. So it's just like, the reason why you guys got a divorce and why it ended is because something wasn't working. And if it was good and everything was working, you wouldn't be ending it.
Yeah.
And so I think like a lot of people are like, oh, like, I'm so sorry. That's like, sorry to hear that. But it's like, no, it's good. It's positive. We're both gonna be happier because we're not in this together anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a quote recently, and obviously everyone's situation is different, but it really spoke to me because it said that divorce isn't two people not understanding each other, it's two people finally understanding each other.
Interesting.
If you both are amicably divorcing.
Well, sure.
Yeah. My divorce went from not amicable to amicable to very not amicable at the last second.
Yeah.
Because the divorce started with, actually the divorce started with her suggesting divorce and then immediately changing her mind. But within the span of her deciding that, I went from no, we can't divorce to like, oh no, we're going to be unhappy for the rest of our lives if we do not do this. So then we moved to that point, and it became like, yes, we both need to separate. We are destroying each other.
Yeah.
We've already like destroyed each other for 9 years of just like dissonance and not being compatible and that kind of thing. And so we needed to end this, and it kept going amicable, and we didn't have even like lawyers until right up until near like getting to the point of like going to court, where then she decided that she wanted to file for sole custody of the kids because she wanted to move to California. And she had her reasons why she wanted to do that.
Well,
but
her family's there, right?
Her family was there and everything like that, and she felt like she had nothing here for her. But that by doing that, it would have uprooted not only my kids, but myself from the best thing in the world to me, which is Austin, Rooster Teeth, and all my friends here and like that. And
your career, which you have worked very hard to establish.
So then it turned into a lawyers versus lawyers. It got very nasty.
Yeah.
To the point where we were like making cases against each other because she was making up some stuff about me and coming to some conclusions about why I was here.
Yeah.
Or
There's some people who don't deal with things as well as others do.
yeah.
And it happens.
But you know, again, it's different for everybody. But then once I had a great support system. Support system is so important during during something like that. Rooster Teeth was my family here was a great support system. Bernie
place has been amazing.
and Jeff were invaluable sources of information, having gone through divorces themselves at the time. And
Sorry, Karen.
yeah, there we go. Good. I'm
came
glad
back.
I triggered something for you.
Yeah.
And then once we got to court and everything like that and went through the court thing, it was one of the most nerve-wracking things I've ever done in my life.
It's
but
horrible.
it's terrible. But when the judge essentially, because we were fighting on a lot of things, and there was even some financial arguments that are happening involving debt. But in the end, when the judge A said divorce is finalized and B ruled in my favor, and I knew that I was finally able to move on to the next chapter of my life, is the beginning of the best part of my life ever.
I even took you out.
You did? To Cece's Pizza.
Did the neighbors complain?
So that was what I was going to say until I forgot, was that I said I feel old because going through this process, they say that it's like one of the top 3 most traumatic things you can ever go through.
Yeah.
And I've done so much work on myself as a result of that I probably would never have done if this hadn't happened.
Yeah.
And now I feel so equipped to offer help and experience and wisdom to people who have gone through it. And that's exactly why when all this happened, I sat down with Bernie and was like, how do I do this?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? And he was like, been there, done that, and I will help you because this is hard and horrid. And if that's like a glimmer of something good that I can get from this experience is helping other people, great.
Those old guys have tons of experience.
Yeah.
And advice. They've been really great.
They've done shit. Yeah, and talking about it
they're
being
not They're just wise.
Kind of old.
They're also kind of old.
A lot of people ask me, like, how did you get rid of Fat John? And I tell, first and foremost, is I started showing up on screen, and I decided I need to see less chins on the screen. And second was...
Look at, they got only one chin.
Look at that. It's
One
a pretty
chin.
good chin.
Single.
It's a pretty good chin.
A single chin.
Second was I was coming up on like getting divorced, and I realized, oh no, gonna be dating again.
Gonna have other people see
Did not
naked.
keep this up at all. This is in bad shape.
Yeah. It's kind of what happens to a lot of people when they end a long relationship
Yep.
or any relationship of just like, man, like someone else is gonna be seeing me naked for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't want to make
Yikes.
you scream.
Or the only person I need to take care of right now is me.
Yeah. And
Or
that
like,
was
let
also
me focus
something.
on myself.
It was that I could take care of myself and I could be in control. It was a control thing even. It was that I was in control of my food, I was in control of my activity, I was in control of my health.
Yeah.
And that physically helped me, but also mentally empowered me in ways that I needed.
And once
Yeah.
again, I want to reiterate, please be respectful of everyone involved in this situation. We are given this platform to be able to talk about this, and other people on other sides of this are not. So again, always be respectful of that. And I know, Chris,
I don't have any divorces.
you personally have not been divorced.
No, my parents were divorced.
Your parents
and
are,
I
yeah.
remember, from perspective of a kid, I remember when I was a kid, I thought it was like the worst thing in the world.
What age?
I was like 10, 9. And I was like, it was super traumatic at that time, or I thought it was.
And you also have a sister too, who's young.
Sister and a brother, yeah.
And a brother.
Older sister, younger brother. And I thought it was like, this life-changing thing. And I mean, as a kid it is, but...
It's world-ending in a certain way.
But I think for any kids who have had their parents get divorced or are going through that now, it's like, it seems like the end of the world, but it's like, as you get older, it gets better, and then it's like life. Same thing with like, it's the same kind of philosophy of like, people who have a bad time in high school.
Yeah.
When you get out of high school, things get better. Like once you get past past it.
It's also, you should know that it's better, it's in the best interest of your parents, probably, if they're going through that, and to the point where they're having so many problems or issues big enough that they should separate. It's better for them in the long run.
Oh yeah, that was.
You want your parents to be happy too, so they could make you happy.
Right.
It's a better, it's a better situation.
Absolutely.
For people to be happy.
That was a big part of it for me, of like someone that like actively quite Christian. People probably know that about me, but that like, I think there's still a lot of stigmatism within the church about people that get divorced, and that was, and again, a part of me that I was quite anxious about.
Yeah, I could imagine, because there's probably judgment.
Huge amount, yeah. And the way that I just figured it out was that like, if God is a perfect parent, He would rather me like not live my life in misery, and not my ex live his life in misery. Like, He wants good things for us.
Yeah.
And if the best thing is for us to separate amicably and figure it out that way, and then go on to have lives maybe with people that we're better suited to, that's the way forward.
And you don't want Gus to grow up in a house where mommy and daddy are.
I thought you meant Sorolla.
Gus being the dog.
We managed to figure out joint custody.
Oh.
I'm done.
That was for you.
Done.
That was for you, Barbara.
Done. Where's the exit?
It's all worth it. Everything is so worth it.
That was, yeah.
The whole episode led up to that pun.
That was the two things that we split when we got divorced. Was she got a car, I got a car, and she got a dog, and I got a dog because we had
Yeah.
2 dogs. So we didn't have to split that.
Yeah. But
She got a kid, I got a kid. We just split them up. That kind of thing.
joint custody.
Yeah.
Amazing. Gus is such a good boy.
He's the best boy.
I came over. Whenever I come over to your desk, I'm just like, hi, Gus.
It's amazing how animals like know the moments that we need them.
Oh yeah.
And he like, if I'm having a low moment or it's like a tough day to process everything that I'm going through, he'll come up and just like put his head on my knee and be like,
That's so funny. Chris does that to me.
"Oh, that's nice. That's why you took him to CSCs."
I do remember that you telling me. I think you told me the next day. You're just like, Chris took me to CC's last night. I was like, congratulations.
I think a bunch of us went out for drinks at one point for it, like a celebratory kind of thing. I think Chris is the only person who singularly took me out to do something.
Oh, I'm
Gus
sorry.
would take me to CSCs. That'd be great.
I remember when you were going through that whole thing, and I was so scared because I know, like, I'm not trying to put things in buckets or anything or make assumptions about or generalize about this, but a lot of divorces with custody involved tend to sway maybe towards the mother a little more often. And so I remember when you were going through that, I was really afraid that it would go in her direction and she'd take the kids back to California, and that would mean you would have to move back to California. And I was thinking, like, I'm about to lose one of my best friends.
Oh,
like,
it was one of the most stressful year and a half of my life because of that. I mean, even leading up to right before the court, we had a pretty good case because I had a pretty good argument for everything, and my lawyer was still like, I don't know if we have this.
Yeah.
Like we had a really good case, didn't know if we had this, and the thing is that. And you can attest to this, while you're going through something like that, we work in entertainment.
Yeah.
I specifically have an improv comedy show. I literally have a show that's comedy that I do every single week. And I did it. I did that show all the way through the divorce.
Yeah.
So there's like a year of like on the spot that is John's going through a divorce. Some of those episodes,
sad.
he got a really bad call from his lawyer that day and still did the show.
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got out of a speeding ticket once because of my divorce.
Yeah, you just added
People
that
get
sympathy?
it. That's the kind of the amazing thing is that like if you're in a spot, it's such a real life human difficult thing that you can be like, this is what I'm going through, and sometimes people are like, okay, I totally like either they've been there, they understand, and like it's something that's just so it's the same. I think it's the second most traumatic thing after your spouse like unexpectedly passing away.
Yeah.
Is going through a divorce. It's like it's awful. And I just like I really quickly want to say like if that is something that you were going through or gone through, the best thing I ever did in my life was go and get my own therapy for it.
Yeah.
And it's like you deserve to do that for yourself.
And we've talked about therapy on the show and
it's
how
so transformative.
it's important, and a lot of people shy away from it because they think it's going to be this big ordeal or
Some
that
kind of
it's-
weakness or something.
Yeah, or
It's
that
not.
it shows weakness in them. It does not. It honestly shows strength,
Yeah.
if anything, because you're doing things and taking measures to better yourself and to feel better about your situation.
Just like changing your diet or changing your lifestyle, it's like this is something I need to work this stuff out because it's hard. And you shouldn't have to do it on your own.
Who did you when your parents were going through that? Did you have anyone to talk to, or like what did you do to cope with that kind of thing?
I play a lot of video games.
Played a lot of
Really loud sound.
I mean, sometimes you just need something to escape.
I didn't really, yeah.
At 10?
I got that part. Carry on.
No, I mean, I don't know if I really dealt with it much. I think, yeah.
Oh, so that's why you're the way you are.
Yeah.
It's hard, especially like.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke. I love Chris. He's a fantastic person.
Well, I mean, for young kids, it's hard because like they maybe don't have the ability to seek out help.
or they don't even know that's an option.
Yeah, and so I think
there's a conception that little kids think that adults deal with it, so I
Yeah.
need to deal with it.
Right.
and it'd be nice if people who are going through divorces and have kids or young kids or anything like that pay attention to them and say, hey, like
Suck it up.
we'll find someone for you to talk to,
Yeah.
or like we'll do whatever
It
it
is.
takes, because
It
it's
is.
very traumatic. On
And
the
having an
children,
open
sure.
conversation with your kids during that is very important. And having it's if you can having like amicable conversations with your ex with them, and making sure that the kids know that nothing is involving them, and that
didn't
all that kind of thing. And kids are amazingly resilient. And if you keep the communication open, it can become the new normal very easily.
Well, you know what else is extremely resilient? Meundies. I'm wearing some right now. Ladies, Putting on good underwear in the morning is a key part of owning your day. Good underwear helps you feel confident, powerful, sexy, and ready to conquer the world, as you should. I think almost all of my underwear is now Meundies. I've
so
almost
jealous.
transitioned all the way there.
So
so
soft.
jealous.
Yeah, and it's really funny, and I'll tell the story right now. There's someone I'm dating right now who works at the company, who also, it's not John, it's not John,
It's my girlfriend.
who also gets underwear from Meundies.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys chop and change?
I'm always afraid
guys
that
gonna
one day
match?
we're going to be wearing the same brand of Meundies.
Same print?
Same print.
I have
my
2
God.
pairs of Meundies. Those are my date underwears.
Your date underwear. Yeah.
You gave me a dress that was MeUndies.
I
from
did.
and it's like the perfect weight of garment.
Yep.
That you feel like it's hugging you. It's
Yeah.
so good.
They have
That
dresses,
pajama dress.
they have pajama pants, shirts.
So good.
And undies, which are my personal favorite. They guarantee you will love your undies or your money back. Right now, MeUndies has an exclusive offer just for listeners. Get 20% off your first pair and free shipping. MeUndies is so sure you will love their underwear. They even offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. You order a pair, and if you don't love your first one, get a full refund. This is a no-brainer to try. 20% off, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee. What are you waiting for? Seriously, what are you waiting for? Go do it. To get your 20% off, free shipping, and their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and get the best and softest underwear you'll ever own, go to meundies.com/open. That's meundies.com/open. This is a limited time offer, so what are you waiting for? Start wearing the best underwear of your life. It changed my life, and it's time to let MeUndies change yours. Wink, wink. Go to meundies.com/open right now. Thank you, MeUndies.
I like that it's MeUndies open /
I know,
open.
I always
It's
think
just
about that.
Open undies.
Like,
Open them undies. They do have, the men's underwear has the little,
No one ever uses that.
some people do.
No one ever uses that. You ever used open flap of your underwear? No.
No.
Texas? No. See?
No?
All
Right.
all other 15 dudes in broadcast, anyone ever do that? Fuck you, Christian.
He does, he does,
One.
he does, he does.
You used to open flap?
It's like,
Pull the underwear down like a normal human.
there are two types of people. There are the people who pee standing up, pee sitting down. There's also the people who
Standing up.
unzip.
Every time.
Wipe standing up or sitting down, not
Oh.
pee.
my issue.
Standing up.
Yeah. Like that, it's more of a hover.
Please put your pants
used to
back
do
on,
it.
Chris.
I was gonna say my
Don't
issue
show
with using the
I use the flap.
Let's all just compare. Okay, here we go.
my issue with using the little flap to stick it out is then it's like, okay, then are you also gonna stick it through the zipper without
Yeah.
open?
There's
then
some
it's
people
like
who
there's
do that.
Zipper's got tangs.
it's like going through a gauntlet of shredding teeth.
It is.
It's like
It's this.
It's like that movie Teeth.
Wait, one more time.
well, I'm just. It's like you're risking everything.
Why would you use your
penis
head
head.
as the penis? These are two motions that should never be.
Never be in the same
It's
sentence
just danger.
at all.
It's just like
No, I get that.
not a risk I want.
I don't know.
Normal. You and me, we're normal, Texas.
I've heard of both of men pulling down their pants to use a urinal and guys who just stick their penis through the flaps.
That's what little kids do.
Pull their
Well,
pants
like
down?
down to the ankles.
Yeah, little
I don't
kids
know,
go
I
for the
don't know, I don't
urinal and
mean
just pull
pull it.
everything down
Yeah.
and just right there.
I don't mean pull it all the way down, just like,
nothing more uncomfortable
down
than
over,
going
just
into
like
the bathroom
a little bit.
And seeing an
and
ass.
seeing a little kid with his pants down to the floor, and you're like,
Oh God. Yeah, we should do a poll and see what people do. Whether they use the
Yeah.
flaps or they just pull them down. All right, we're gonna finish up the show with a box of issues. All right, let's see what we got. All right, this one comes from Kay, and Kay writes, "Hello, my name is Kay, and I'm a 31-year-old woman who is trying to get back into dating after a rough divorce. My now ex-husband left me for another woman, and I've taken some time, years, to work through my personal baggage, and I'm feeling ready to date again. But I'm intimidated by the current dating scene. To put things into a little perspective, I have not been on a date with anyone new since 2005. So I guess that's 13 years almost. When I met my ex. I have 2 children at home, one of who is disabled, so just going to the bar to meet people can be difficult. I've tried Tinder, but I had a couple bad experiences and I'm reluctant to try again. My question is, what advice would you give to someone coming into the dating life after being out of it since high school? Thanks so much, Kay."
Did I write this?
I was gonna say,
Thanks so much, John.
We put a few options of questions, and this, like the one we put in for this one, is very much, I think, targeted.
I felt like I was coming out of a coma.
Yeah.
Because I didn't date in junior. I didn't date ever.
Well, your ex-wife was your first
kiss.
First kiss, first sex.
First sex. First wife.
First everything.
Yeah, and so then when I got divorced at the age of 30.
30. It was 30?
Maybe 29? 30? 30.
How do you know? 30.
33. So maybe I was 31. I might have been 31.
I was gonna say, because it wasn't 3 years ago, was it?
It might have been around 3 years ago, something like that.
time
And
You're no longer married.
Yeah.
yeah, I came out and I was just like, what year is it? How do you date now? What's this Tinder thing?
Well, I remember when you first joined the dating sites.
I did.
Dating apps, rather. You would often ask for our advice.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember a friend of ours, like, wrote text messages for you to a girl.
Oh,
that
yeah.
you were trying to court. You're like, I don't know how to do this, you do it.
And I got a date out of it.
And he got a date out of it.
Only one date. It wasn't a good date. Oh yeah, I have no shame. I will hand my apps over to anybody and be like, judge me.
Help me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, tell me.
Well, you have like a plethora of knowge at Rooster Teeth, especially.
I
All
especially
different
love
types.
if I like boys and girls' opinions on what they think. But, God, yeah, it's rough.
My thought to her would be just not to overthink stuff and not like put a date on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're coming out of this relationship, and if it's like you're gonna have bad experiences on Tinder or whatever, anywhere you go on a date,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a bad experience.
You can't let that deter you.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean you can't have a good one too. And it's just like some of it's like getting comfortable going out on dates.
Yeah.
And meeting people and like just that kind of like
And even if you
interaction.
have a date that like does go well, it's okay to be like, okay, that was a good experience. I learned a lot. Like, I could already tell maybe I'm not into this person, but like just getting that experience is good. And same with the negative ones.
Yeah, it's just like just not overthinking it, getting comfortable, being turned down, being comfortable.
I mean, it's hard
it going well.
I think it's hard to get back into dating after any relationship. I imagine it's more difficult after not dating for 13 years because she was with this man and married him and was with him for a while. And a lot of things change in that period of time. Like, even like when I started dating in 2014, I don't think Tinder was even around yet. So like even then, like in the last 3-4 years, it came to be.
Yeah, I think to your point, like, don't overthink it and I think it's amazing when you find that you meet someone when you're really not planning to. And any advice, I mean, if the apps aren't something that you're comfortable with, which I know that they do work for a lot of people, but if it's something that's like frightening or something you're not comfortable with, it's amazing how often people find someone or meet someone when they're working on themselves. And so, like taking up a new hobby, or just like doing something that's outside of your comfort zone, and you might find that then you at least meet someone that you know you have something in common with.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, and she won't mind me telling the story, I met her through church because we had very similar stories about divorce, and it was a kind of a moment for me that was like, oh my gosh, someone else who has this, like who I can talk to about all this stuff.
Yeah.
She, after her divorce, she took up riding motorcycles, and she met her boyfriend through that because he's like a big rider in the Austin community, and it's something that like was something that she was instantly like, we had that to go between. And whenever I felt anxious or what's going to happen after something like a really rough divorce, especially, and if you are anxious about dating again, she's like, we had that that I could at least fall back on and be like, we both love this thing, and we had this in common, and it's not just like I'm meeting a complete stranger for dinner.
Yeah,
it's like I'm going to see this guy probably around because we're doing the same thing now, and that's like at least a bond of something.
I always say like, you can't. It's good to try to date and to make the effort to date and to get that experience. But again, if you are constantly seeking it out, it might not happen. Like I know it's similar with like me and Blaine. So both of us, after we became single, went to the dating apps and like did try to date, tried to experience that, and like nothing really worked out for us. And he happened to find his girlfriend through the industry and through connections and stuff like that. And now they're great. And the same with me, where it's like I was trying for months to like try to date and to like put myself out there, and like nothing was really hitting. And then the relationship I'm in now kind of just like fell into my lap out of the industry and the situations I put myself in.
Yeah, you were doing something for yourself.
Yeah.
And you met someone else through that.
I think all my long-term relationships came from when I wasn't purposely not looking for them.
Yeah. But again, there's nothing wrong with looking.
Yeah.
Because
No, I'm just saying, like, a lot of times you just, it happens.
Yeah.
I would also say, too, if she had a bad experience with Tinder, then maybe try some other apps.
Bumble's
or dating.
good.
Yeah, there's like different, like, I feel like there's some that might be like more, like, I've never used, what is it, like?
There's OkCupid, there's Bumble.
What's like,
Coffee
there's
meets bagel.
there's some that I feel like more like,
There's Match.com.
Match.com, I feel like I've never used it, but from what people have told me, it's a little more emphasis on like longer term stuff, or like more
also, like,
I
don't-
want to get married. I don't.
Don't discount either, like if you have friends or family that maybe know people who are also single, like blind dates or matchmaking and stuff like that.
That's a good thing. She
Meeting
should
friends through work or through other friends, I think is also
Or-
very.
find a friend who's also single
Did
and they
you
can go
write
out
it?
together.
Yeah.
You're just
no.
like, I did write this.
Did you write this? Are you okay?
No, I would say I want to speak to a couple things in there though. Is that everybody gets frustrated with the dating scene, and I can attest to that. It is a frustrating endeavor, and so don't feel alone in being intimidated by it, because whether you haven't been in dating for a long time or you have been dating for a while, there's still intimidation involved, and there's still like nerves, especially with first dates. But it is like what you were saying. It is like almost any other skill. You become more familiar with it, less intimidated by it, and can almost actually really enjoy it a lot more the more you do it. And you have to get through. It's like learning to draw. You're going to make a lot of bad drawings first. And then once
Your shading technique might not be great at first.
Right, and then it's kind of like with my situation. Like my first few dates were awkward and terrible, and that kind of thing. And like the conversations I would have on these dating apps would be really hard to do, and I wouldn't know what to do, and I get frustrated. But I've gotten more familiar with it, and it's something that. There's still frustration involved, especially when you're in a situation where you're starting over again, and you're like, all right, let's do the swipes, let's find the people, all right, let's start the conversations, that kind of thing.
Yep.
But it's just one of those things that, like, I don't know, like a lot of times when I was like chatting with people, it's like you just kind of have to have a fuck it mentality. It's like, fuck it, let's try it out.
Yeah.
If it ends badly, we'll move on to the next one, and it'll get better and better and better as I go.
Yeah.
I'm really like, I love the part of it that I can really like get with is that like I've taken this time to work through my personal baggage. I'm in that space of the personal baggage, but like you're the guy that you have kids. Like, does that part of it speak to you?
Yeah,
Because she mentioned that.
It is difficult. You have to schedule around it, and you can't just actively.
It's very intentional.
Yeah, and also like you have to question how much you want to tell someone, how much you want people to know. If you have, she has like a disabled child at home, and so that complicates things. So I understand that. It's a lot of you'll be funny to find a lot of people can understand that kind of a situation. If you talked about them, it might be easier if you just put it in your profile. I found that the more I put some of my personal quirks into my profiles and that kind of thing, and didn't have to actually bring it up on a date.
Yeah. Because
Then
if they swiped on you, they would have known.
it probably will result in less people matching with you, but that probably will mean that you just won't find people that later on won't be compatible with your lifestyle.
You're just weeding out those people
That's what I'm saying.
right from the start.
And so, I mean, there's
You never want to feel like it's a bomb you have to drop.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I have kids.
yeah.
And then have to deal with maybe an asshole that's like, I'm not interested then.
Because a lot of times,
Are you dating someone from South Park?
I have.
and I haven't.
Oh my God, they killed Kenny.
And they have it.
I haven't dated anybody that has kids, but because I have kids, I'm not intimidated by someone who has kids. Whereas some younger people might be intimidated by seeing kids. But like,
It's understandable.
You'll find that group of people who are like, oh yeah, I totally understand that. I understand how hard it is. We can totally work with this schedule together and that kind of thing.
Is there a dating site or a dating app for people who have kids?
I don't know.
Probably.
There might be something like that out there. So I would say like maybe research that if it's something that you're really concerned about. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think being upfront is a good way to go about it.
And just
It's
knowing
odd.
it is frustrating. So like you're this isn't something that's special about you, that is personal about you, and it is a widespread thing. And it's scary.
Well, good luck, Kay. Let us know how your dating life goes. If you have a question for us for Always Open, you can email us alwaysopen@roosterteeth.com. We'd love a question for the box of issues. If you have a shot for us or any segment idea that you'd like us to discuss, feel free to email us. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us all your secrets. Chris, Ellie, John, thanks for joining me.
Can we try and do like an all hand clap?
My hands are condensation-y. Okay.
Oh, nailed it. Nailed it. Whoa.
See, that's what you tell your parents when you're having sex.
Yeah.
We're just
Oh,
doing
we're
a big
clapping.
clap. We're just
We're just a
clapping.
group clap situation.
It's not dick against butt at all. Well, thank you guys for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be doing another Box of Issues question on the post show, so sign up for first membership so you can watch.
Oh yeah, we're not done.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes left.
Cheers.
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 To London.
Why?
Because it's the best place ever, John.
I love it. I do. I love it.